Ruse is the largest Bulgarian city on the Danube River. The benefits of its location at a key point on the main trade roads connecting the north and the south were highly valued even by the ancient Thracians and Romans. The city features a clearly outlined central zone, a belt of residential quarters and two industrial zones, the East Industrial Zone and the West Industrial Zone. Some of the largest foreign investments in the region are in Ruse Free Zone and Ruse Industrial Park. Ruse is a vibrant and dynamic place with thriving businesses, strong cultural traditions, magnificent buildings and a remarkable academic center. Angel Kanchev University of Ruse is among the leading Bulgarian universities. The university is actively involved in international programs. Everyone coming here is fascinated by the air of space and harmony in the central city area. The tangible presence of the river pervades community celebrations and day-to-day life. The thing that makes it a best preferred weekend and cultural tourism destination is its extraordinary character. You will certainly feel it when you take a walk in the streets, or even better, live here for a while. Since its beginning, as early as the 3rd millennium before the new era, the core of Ruse has always been on this high terrace by the Danube. The town started its existence 20 centuries ago as a fortification along the Roman border in the reign of Vespasian. It was called Sexaginta Pristis, or just Pristis. Today, the ruins of that Roman town are an open-air museum exhibition. Many centuries later, the Ottoman conquerors appreciated the geopolitical location of the town and made it a large and important place. The seat of the Ottoman Danube Navy and the admiral's headquarters were here. They named it Ruschuk. The hills around the town were fortified. The late 19th to the early 20th century was a period of accelerated growth for Ruse. Within just a couple of decades, from a town in the Orient, it got transformed into a typical cosmopolitan European city that was a vehicle of modernity and progress in the then poorly developed and isolated Bulgaria. When Bulgaria was liberated from Ottoman rule, Ruse was the largest Bulgarian town. The period that followed was for Ruse a time of growing prosperity. It did not take long before the town became a major center of banking, trade, industry and culture. The first striking feature of the city today is the style of its buildings. No other Bulgarian town has such a compact profusion of decoration elements on the buildings. 267 buildings are listed as cultural heritage and bear the European Heritage label. The central city square is called Freedom Square. It is one of the few squares in Europe where 12 streets meet. The heart of the city is the Monument to Freedom, built in 1908 by the Italian sculptor Arnoldo Zocchi. The statue of a woman representing freedom holds a scepter in one hand, the other hand patronizingly points at the city. The lions on either side of the monument clench chains between their teeth, a symbol of the success of the difficult struggle for freedom. The Profit Building is emblematic to Ruse. It was built with community funds in 1907 as a place for trade. The revenues collected by it were allocated to the city schools. Today, it is the main cultural venue in Ruse. The ensemble of buildings forming the city square includes the City Hall, the Court of Justice, the Opera House, and finally the Clock Tower, the best preferred meeting point for local people at all ages. The Park of the Revivalists and the gilded dome of the Pantheon of the Revivalists can be seen in the distance. The greenery in the Central City Park and the freshness coming from its 4 fountains are just delightful. A walk in the rehabilitated Alexandrovska Street will take us to the area that was the city center before the liberation from Ottoman rule. There's a remarkable set of buildings around this old city square. The Regional Museum of History, the Eco Museum and the Aquarium, the former High School for Boys, the Regional Library, the Monument to Soldiers, the building of the State Savings Bank, the old post office. A walk in the Riverside Promenade is a romantic experience that should not be missed. Sunsets on the Danube, ships slowly sailing, fishermen on the river bank, and the beautiful views to the water. There is a lot for photo hunters. While in this area, you can stop at the Lifestyle Museum, known as Kalabis House. You can visit the House Museum of the legendary Baba Tonka, or go to the Catholic Church with the only church organ in Bulgaria. If you're interested, you can go to the Transport Museum, where you can see highly intriguing objects. The locomotive and the luxurious wagons used by Midhat Pasha, the first railway station in Bulgaria, and many other things related to trains, railway lines, and communication. The inquisitive and enthusiastic tourist will find that the environs offer quite attractive cultural sites, biking trails, photo tours, rock climbing and canoeing in the Rusinski River Canyon. The Canyon Valley is a nature park. Its size is about 3,400 hectares in the picturesque meanders and rocks along the river. One of the largest caves in Bulgaria, the Orlova Chuka cave, is in this valley. 22 kilometers southwest of Ruse, close to the village of Ivanovo, is a must-see site, the Ivanovo Rock Church's archaeological reserve. High in the rocks, around 50 meters above the ground, you can see the openings of scenic caves that were inhabited by medieval hermit monks who believed in the doctrine of hesychasm. The place was a monastic center between the 12th and the 14th century. The monks enlarged the natural caves and turned them into chapels, churches, and residential cells. You can still see the frescoes of Holy Virgin's Church. They are defined as a supreme attainment of the medieval Bulgarian art. The churches are on the UNESCO's list of World Cultural Heritage. Close to them are the ruins of Cherven. In the Middle Ages, it was the most important town in northeast Bulgaria. One can see the ruins of the unfortified outer town and the walls of the inner town, the Boyar's Palace, the Bishop's Church, and some of the houses in the main street. On the way back to Ruse, you can stop at the only active rock monastery in Bulgaria, the monastery of Saint Dimitar Basarbovsky. The church, high in the rock, has a wooden icon stand. It can give an idea of what the ancient rock monasteries and cells around them looked like. One of the delightful things Ruse lavishly offers to its guests is the possibility to have a cup of coffee or a refreshing beer at the shady tables of dozens of inviting cafes. You will have the feeling that you are in the middle of a stage setting of past times, with fascinating views of the bright city life and spellbinding sunset on the Danube. Magnetic, charming sunsets that make you want to come back.